Hey guys, I am Dr. Deepak Garg and today we will discuss management of stage 3A malignant melanoma. If you have not seen my previous videos, please go and see my previous videos on malignant melanoma so that you can have a better understanding of the topic. So we start with the management of stage 3A malignant melanoma. So patient presented to us may be with the localized disease stage 2A or higher. We did a sentinel lymph node biopsy which came out to be positive. Now it has become stage 3A. Now what should we do? Should we do the complete lymph node dissection or we should just close and do the USG surveillance? And what are the adjuvant options? So patient presented to us in the beginning, we did all the investigations. For the local part, we did the wide surgical excision with the adequate margins. For the nodal basin, where sentinel lymph node came out to be positive, we can either do the surveillance or we can go for the complete lymph node dissection, and following surgery we can observe the patient or we can give the adjuvant therapy. So what should we do? Should we do complete lymph node dissection after positive sentinel lymph node biopsy? So before 1993, if a patient with the malignant melanoma of the extremities, say patient of the malignant melanoma of the presented on the leg, then should we go for sentinel lymph node biopsy or we directly go for the lymph node dissection? So it is called elective lymph node dissection. So before 1993, they used to go for the elective lymph node dissection. So then came this trial MSLT1. So they had two group of the patients. In one group they did only wide excision, and in another group they did wide excision and sentinel lymph node biopsy. So one of the aim of the study was to prove the significance of getting a sentinel lymph node biopsy. Then they further divided into two groups. One with those who came sentinel lymph node positive, they did immediate CLND, and in another group they observed the patient. So they found that no overall survival benefit in wide excision plus complete lymph node dissection group versus wide excision plus USG surveillance group. So there was no overall survival group, but they had taken three group of the patients. One with the thickness of 1.2 to 3.5 mm, one with the thickness of less than 1.2 mm, and the another with the group with the thickness of more than 3.5 mm. When they analyzed the group separately, they found that patient with the intermediate thickness 1.2 to 3.5 mm, so there was a survival benefit with wide excision plus CLND group compared to the nodal basin observation group. So after the MSLT, again there was a confusion whether we should go for complete lymph node dissection or not, but they established the role of doing a sentinel lymph node biopsy. After this trial, it became established that we should go for sentinel lymph node biopsy, but there was a confusion whether we should go for complete lymph node dissection if sentinel lymph come out to be positive. So this trial came, DCOG SLT trial. They had two group. In one group they did a complete dissection after the sentinel lymph node came out to be positive, and in another group they just observed the patient, and later on they did the delayed complete lymph node dissection if there is a recurrence on the nodal basin. And they found that the 3-year overall survival rate and the 3-year recurrence free survival rate was similar in both the groups. There was no statistically significant difference in both the groups. But they found that the most important prognostic factor for overall survival, RFS, and distant metastasis free survival was tumor load in the sentinel lymph node, which came positive. So if micrometastasis is more than or equal to 1 mm, they found that it is related to it will affect the overall survival, RFS and DMFS. And primary tumor thickness of more than or equal to 2 mm was also a significant factor. So they concluded that patient with a CLND should not be performed in patients with sentinel lymph node micrometastasis 1 mm or smaller in diameter. Again, there was a confusion whether we should go for sentinel lymph node biopsy in all the patients or we should just observe, because most of their patients had micrometastasis. So then this trial came, MSLT 2. They again divided into two groups, one with the complete dissection and observation, and another with the observation with the nodal ultrasound, and later on they did a complete lymph node dissection. So they found that there was no significant melanoma specific survival in CLND versus observation group. So they concluded that we can prefer USG surveillance in patients with sentinel lymph node biopsy positive patients instead of going for complete lymph node dissection. So after the trial, it is established that we can go for USG nodal basin surveillance. So NCCN also says the similar thing, that it is reasonable to consider nodal basin USG surveillance instead of complete lymph node dissection. There are various studies showing that the prognostic value of if a non-sentinel lymph node come out to be positive, then obviously it will be a poor, there will be higher recurrence rate, poor DFS, poor melanoma specific survival, and the poor overall survival. So these are the various studies showing the similar results, that CLND is associated with improved recurrence free survival, but overall survival is not significant. Both the observation group and the CLND has the same overall survival. Now when we know that we are going to observe the nodal basin with the nodal basin USG surveillance, and we are not going to go for the complete lymph node dissection, then why should we go for the sentinel lymph node biopsy? What is the significance of doing a sentinel lymph node biopsy? Guys, it will be decided whether we should give RT to the nodal basin or we should consider the adjuvant systemic therapy. It will be decided on the basis of the sentinel lymph node biopsy. Whether we go for a complete lymph node dissection or not, it is not related, but adjuvant treatment is decided by the sentinel lymph node biopsy. So if we talk about the RT at the local site, then there are the indications for the RT at the local site. If the nerve is involved, then we should definitely give the local site RT, or if the margins are not adequate, then we should give the RT to the local site. When we should give RT to the nodal basin? So in the sentinel lymph node we have got only one node which we have sent for the biopsy. So now if that lymph node is showing a extra capsular extension of the melanoma, then definitely adjuvant RT should be given to the nodal basin. Or if it is a cervical or the axillary lymph node and the size of the lymph node is more than 3 cm or equal to 3 cm, then adjuvant RT should be given to the nodal basin. Or if it is an inguinofemoral node and the size is more than or equal to 4 cm, then RT should be given to the nodal basin. Otherwise we may skip the RT. Now what systemic therapy should we consider, or we should not consider any systemic therapy? So this is a chart from the NCCN guidelines which is showing that observation is category 2A, and if the thickness is more than 1 mm, then Pembro and Dabrafenib, these are the category 1. That means there is a high level of evidence and the uniform NCCN consensus. So if the thickness is more than 1 mm, then definitely we should, in stage 3A, definitely we should consider the adjuvant systemic therapy. But if the thickness is less than 1 mm, then we can very well observe the patient, or we can give nivolumab to the patient, or we can start with. So these are the systemic therapy. Only two options are there: immune checkpoint inhibitors and the targeted therapies. So this was our management of stage 3A. Tomorrow we will discuss about the management of malignant melanoma with regional disease when a patient is presenting with the clinically or radiologically detectable lymph node metastasis. Then what should we do? We will discuss it in the next video. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Keep learning.